Smart 24, driving business.
Region, very delighted that you're part of today's edition of Smart Means Business as we get to take a look at the top business stories that are making the Vision and the Daily Monitor. Now to kick the question, and that is justice that civilians appear and his aide Obaid Talib remained behind the. We see so grab yourself to find out and tell into that. Personnel rolled called that organizations, that is what they say. And then in other stories, over 3,000 Ugandans develop cancer every year. This according to what the doctors say. So 40,000 cases, that is the total annual of the diagnosed cancer cases which has increased from 27,000 to 40,000, and this is for both children and the adults. Now, 21,000 deaths in 2024. Uganda recorded 21,000 related cancer deaths. So that is something in there. 3,000 Ugandans develop cancer every year. That is a big number. And I think that calls for being vigilant by what we take in, by what we expose ourselves to over a period of time. All right, now into other stories. Karamoja survey unearths high-value mineral deposits. Now the experts say Uganda now knows what minerals occur in the country. So that is congratulations to those areas. And then into other stories, no cities grapple with shrinking barrier space. Now the bungalows and apartments are now being built on land previously reserved for the public cemeteries. So that is what we see happening in there. And then coming in from the court section, somebody says that let's respect court decisions. And then judiciary versus executive, a battle for a rule of law democracy. Of course, we see that the implications of both Supreme Court's judgment and the president's response, they say, are quite profound. Okay? And then somebody says that anti-Banyarwanda discrimination, national shame. Yeah, I think Rwanda says that our dual citizen clause should apply to the Banyarwanda like it does to everybody else. That is what the writer came out with the opinion. Then we take a look at the letter of the day, transport safety laws regarding children sitting need to be stricter. And of course, there is a question that are Ugandans ready to support their watchdogs? You know, that is part of the latest of the day. Okay, now as we proceed along here, the big story, it says that what explains the cash problem in Uganda's tech startups? You know, in 2020, African startups racked in a record of about 1.43 billion in funding, and that is in 359 equity rounds. But Uganda got a modest of about $11.3 million, which was far lower than what Nigeria, Kenya, Egypt, and South Africa really received. You know, so what explains the cash problems in Uganda's tech startups? And it's actually very true. I've always talked about this. If you take a look at the tech companies, most of them, even those that already seem to have some kind of a foundation before the community, they are still struggling. They're still getting the money to run the operations from other sources. So this is really a huge problem coming in here. But when you grab yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor, you'll be able to tell and contend what is the cause and what is the way out, because it's not just about knowing what it is, but how can you solve it? That is also a key question. Then the DRC conflict, what is at stake for Uganda? Now, Uganda's exports to DR Congo, Uganda's exports to DR Congo have actually been growing over the years, rising to about $433.2 million. That is between December 2023 and November 2024. Now, which is a growth of about 40% from the 258.3 million earned in the same period. That is between 2019 and 2020. Okay, so that is what we're seeing there. The trade between Uganda and DRC. There is a comparison for 2023 up to 2024 and 2019 to 2020. That is according to. So when you compare the ones for 2020 to 2019 to 2020, they were slightly low, but at the time of the conflict, they increased. You know, that is about a 40% increment in the exports. Now, somebody here says that as we look towards the future, various key trends will define this year and beyond, presenting both opportunities and challenges for the digital industry that is across Uganda. So that is Key headline there. Then farmers applaud UBL for providing barley market. Now, according to the Uganda breweries, 95% of its raw materials are surrounded locally, and volumes would actually be would increase if the government addresses the challenge of the illicit alcohol. You know, that is what they say. And of course, still in the regional news, in the driving seat, we see a man with a disability makes his own car. Okay, now locals now call him Mr. Hamdan Tamale, engineer, because of his innovative mind. Very beautiful story right here of a gentleman that decided to make his own car. Now, dry season leaves animals with barely nothing to it. Now, some livestock farmers are now forced to drive their herds more than 15 kilometers in search of water. You know, that is what the report says. And then in the foreign news, Elon Musk says he wants USAID shut down. That's what it says. Now, this is the world's largest single donor in 2023. US disbursed that is $72 billion of assistance worldwide on everything from women's health in conflict zones and access to clean water and HIV/AIDS treatment, energy security, and also the anti-corruption network. Now, it provided 42% of all humanitarian aid in 2024. So Elon Musk says he wants USAID to be shut down. You know, in his own opinion, he feels that's the right thing to do. Okay, and then we take a look at the painful divorce of Rashford, that is a Manchester United player. United have grown used to subsidizing moves for highly paid players who are not reaching their standards required. That is no longer fit for the manager of the day. Now, their wage bill is one of the highest in world football, and reducing it is key. You know, that's what they're saying. The painful divorce of Rashford and Manchester United. They say he's not competent enough, you know, for that. All right, that is it for the Daily Monitor. Now let's switch and take a look at the New Vision. What is really making headlines right there? Of course, new A-level syllabus changes have been put out, and biology has had some of the biggest changes, according to what they said. And the Army Court details of the Chief Justice judgment, and of course, on matters to do with unemployment, Museveni to start circles for graduates, you know. And from the opinion side, Kinshasa must talk to M23. This is according to Mwenda. And then relationships. Deputy IGG asks married women to be submissive. Okay. Now, in the boxing side, Kabagambe wins gold in national championships. So grab yourself a copy to find out the further details that are entailed into that report. Okay, and now, of course, we take a look at Bella Winemaker. Bella Winemaker tips youth women on starting businesses. She's come out to say something. And of course, Anglican women have been asked to be submissive in marriage. That is part of the discussions in there. And then President Museveni promises to start graduates circles. Now, the state minister for northern Uganda, that is Kenneth Mona, informed President that his ministry is in advanced stages of compensating the families and victims affected by the Lord's Resistance Army, and perhaps this is one of the ways. And then the President orders revocation of the Lango PDM suspect's bond. Of course, we take a look at the Lango tour, which concludes. Now, during President Museveni's tour to assess the parish development model progress, he talked to the people of Lango, the Sab region, to utilize the peaceful state to prosper. Okay. Now, in other stories, Health Ministry confirms 2 more Ebola cases. Now, the World Health Organization has donated 2,160 doses of trial vaccine you know. Uh, that is what it has donated. And then we take a look at security probes to certain dates at Entebbe International Airport. What are they related to? Describe yourself a copy of the date of the new vision. You'll find out further details that entail into that. And then now we take a look at the A-level curriculum changes out. Of course, the government has eliminated absolute content such as cathode ray oscilloscope in physics. You know, some have actually been waived out. You know, they're considering the relevant courses anyway as matters to study. Then police issues stringent guidelines as schools open. Yeah, so today some schools actually opened last week. Some are resuming studies today. And then Uganda starts manufacturing HIV, malaria, sickle cell self-staffing kits. That is good. And then UK-based Ugandan develops groundbreaking cancer drug. This is seeing Dr. Karmali Rashida. Now today, February 4th, marks World Cancer Day, and of course at a time to reflect on the global burden of cancer, as well as to research by scientists to develop safe and effective treatments. We had a report that was suggesting that 3,000 Ugandans get cancer every year. And now the UK-based Ugandan develops the groundbreaking cancer drug. Well, let us see how that ends up. And then Nakalima tips Guild leaders on good conduct, you know, and civil courts have power over military. This is according to Chief Justice. He says that civil courts have power over military courts, you know. And the Supreme Court Justice says upheld a verdict that military courts, you know, cannot try civilians. That is what they say. You know, the justice upheld a verdict that military courts cannot try civilians. Okay, now in the comment section, somebody here says, what has frustrated DRC peace efforts? You know, that is a big question. And then Andrew Mwenda here says that how President Felix Tshisekedi remains defiant in a characteristic style. He refused to attend an emergency summit of the heads of the state of the East African community called by its chairman, that is William Ruto. That is what they say. And for many years, there has been a promising regional efforts that is to resolve the M23 conflict peacefully. Now, on several occasions, they have come close to ending this conflict that is peacefully. Let us see how it will really turn out to be. Okay, time is running out, but let's wind this up. Now, when we get into the oil, gas, and infrastructure, why Greater Kampala development ultimately? That is what is under here. And then when you take a look at news go around all around the world, still in energy, low carbon energy investment hit a record of about $2.1 trillion last year. That is what we see. And Shell annual profit drops to about $16 billion as oil prices fall. And then Kazakhstan is said to produce shale oil for first time this very year. Okay, that is what we see there. And then how Greater Kampala will gain more development program. You know, it has all been listed in here. And well, that is it for our press briefing. And now let's go for the break. And I'll be returning with Karibu East Africa and also what is happening on the international scene. Stick around.